a lot of people, they don't really know. A lot of even the postal workers, they don't really know. They don't use the kiosk as opposed to you. Like I wouldn't have known until I started reading the fine print. I was like, oh, what? And I'll show you in the video right here. See right here, it says, okay, in their words, I'm gonna put it right here up here. It says articles must be placed in the bin and processed by USPS in order to receive a true acceptance scan. This scan does not constitute a service or delivery guarantee. So you see, it is not a true it's not a true acceptance scan. You see, that's the wording that they use. That was the reason why after I used it like 3 times, I was like, oh, I can't use this, I'm not gonna use this. I just want the receipt, the real receipt. Hey guys, it's Genius Finds, and today I'm gonna do a video on the differences of the how you send your mail, your packages out, because there are subtle differences on how eBay or like the UPS or the USPS tracks how the packages are received, and there are a little subtle differences between them. I'm doing this video because there is like a backstory. I did almost get into like a heated argument with one of the clerks at the post office. This is way back then. I will leave that for the end of the video. You guys can watch it if you want. The clerk bulk scan is like one of these right here, where you, at the end of the day, you print out the packages, the labels, and then you have the total of if it's going grounds, priority, whatnot, and then if you have a lot of packages, they want you to do it like this, where they scan one of these codes, and it's going to show that it has a lot of different packages, and then they're going to verify it kind of and scan this one barcode, right? And then that's the clerk bulk scan. But I'm going to show you the difference right here. It's a little bit different than when you actually get the individual packages scanned, and I'm going to show you right here in this example of the clerk bulk scan is right here on the left, and then we have a kiosk scan right here in the middle, and then we have the clerk scan. This clerk scan means that they're scanning the individual packages. Now I'm going to go right here to 1. I created the shipping label, paid for it, and then the shipping label is created. 2, we're going to see right here, this bulk scan, this scan right here, you can see for the bulk scan right here, acceptance is pending. See, again, the individual package has to get scanned in the back end. That's what it means. Now, this is a kiosk scan. It's like the USPS electronic receipt item for mailing. Again, this is the same thing as kind of like you scan the item. It's not, they consider it not received until it gets scanned in the back end. Now this right here, you can see that I did this on the same day right here. So right after I did the kiosk, the line was very short, so I was able to do it within 2 minutes of each other right here. This is an individual item that the clerk took and scanned the individual package, and it says right here, USPS is in possession of the item. You see, that's very different than what it says right here, the USPS electronic receipt of item for mailing. That's the kiosk, right? So it's not really, right here, USPS is actually in possession of the item. Right here, it's not. Now, we're going to go to right here, number 3. You see what the clerk bulk scan, right here, number 3, accepted at the USPS origin facility. That's kind of like the same thing as right here, my post office accepted the item at the back end where they do the sorting, and they scanned it again over there. So you can see right here, number 3, that's what happened. Again, these, they don't really do that. Actually, this would be number 2, would be number 3 right here. Now, when you go to number 4, this is when they take the package, and this is the regional sorting facility my post office sends to like the huge hub. This is where they the origin facility or regional facility that they have, and that's number 4 right here. As you can see right here, when you get the individual package of the item scanned from the clerk, USPS is put in possession of the item. So that'll be like number 2. Yeah, so I kind of blocked out the actual facilities because I don't want to put like the actual location. But if you look at number 4 right here, these would be the same facilities right here. Right here, right here, right here. They're the same point or the same location, or like how the packages go through 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the same points in time. USPS has possession of the item. And then the kiosk scan, you get to number 4. And this is where they consider that they accepted the item. Okay? And that's the difference. So if there's any type of real dispute between like you and eBay, because eBay is kind of like the most important thing, right? Because eBays are going to always go and look at, okay, you as a seller, you're telling them one thing, and then they're going to look at their tracking from the USPS. And USPS can always argue the fact that, well, you scanned it at the kiosk, but we never took possession of the item. You could have just scanned the item and, you know, taken it with you and never dropped it off in the bin. And that could always be like one of the things that they can say. And there's no way for you to prove or disprove it. I guess you could prove it by maybe because they have cameras at the postal facilities, and they can see that, oh yeah, you dropped it off. But again, I don't know if they would be willing to go through all that for a small item, like a cheap item. And maybe eBay, you know, when they have a dispute, it's always at the discretion of eBay to side with either you or the USPS post office, and that's the difference. Now, the only thing that I haven't done right here is show you the differences between getting the packages scheduled where they come and pick it up at your doorstep. That's the one thing that I haven't done or don't do really, because I take all my items to the post office and I do get the items scanned individually. There is going to be probably a part 2, because as time progresses and as I'm getting more and more packages, and I rather just save the time and kind of like drop off the packages, or like not drop off the packages, but have the post office schedule with the post office to get their clerks to scan the items and, you know, take it, you know, rather than me going to the post office, which is going to save me a lot of time. You only get, I believe, like 3 mistakes with eBay, where within a certain time frame, like about a year, I think, where you can dispute it, or like, you know, your packages weren't sent in on time. People, they say, oh yeah, you can just drop it off, and that for most part is true, because 99.999% of the time, nothing's really going to happen to your packages if you drop it off at the bin. I mean, people can steal it, but most people are not going to go into the post office to steal packages. There's way too many people, etc. And they don't know if it's an expensive package or like a cheap package. Most don't even know what's inside. And so if it's a very expensive package, I would not actually drop it off at the bin. You would have to get it individually scanned. The emphasis I'm trying to make here is that unless the clerk scans the individual package itself, just know that USPS is not in possession of your item. So when the kiosk first rolled out, I was like, wow, I don't have to wait in line anymore. I can just scan the items, drop it on the bin, and save myself a lot of time. And wow, what a great thing, right? But what ended up happening is like after using it about 3 times, I did see the fine print. It says your package is not considered received. So I went back to getting my items individually scanned at the clerk desk. Now, when they first started implementing the kiosk, most of the clerks were like, you can use that kiosk right there, right? I did explain to them, like, yeah, I can use the kiosk, but you guys don't consider your packages accepted until, you guys scan it by hand. And that's what I explained to the clerks, and most of the clerks were like, fine. They'll go, and then they would scan my items and just give me the receipt. However, there was this one clerk, this older Asian gentleman, that kind of like was frustrated, um, didn't want to scan my items. He would always point to the damn kiosk and say, you're supposed to use the kiosk, right? You can't use the kiosk. But he reluctantly, would scan my items. And then, yeah, that went on for several days. Like each time I saw him, about the fourth or fifth time that I went to him, he was very frustrated. And then he was like, would not scan it. He said, no, go use the damn machine. No, use the machine. Use the machine. I would love to use the machine. It would save me a lot of time rather than having to wait in line like 30 minutes or more sometimes. If the scans at the kiosk were considered accepted, I would love to do that. Getting frustrated also, but again, I can't really start yelling at this person. Like I have to go to the post office every day, etc. And I did feel kind of like a little bit of frustration at that time. I don't really have too much of an animosity right now. I really don't care as long as my packages get scanned, and I had to get the supervisor involved. But the thing is, it was his job, right? And another flip side to that, I think it was because the corporate or the upper management was constantly probably pressuring a lot of the clerks, saying like, you guys need to get the customers to use the kiosk rather than having to do it yourself, which would save the company, etc., a lot of time and money. However, it was within their own policy where those scans are not considered accepted scans. Those are just arbitrary scans. Like you could just drop it off at the bin, without getting it scanned, etc., and it would be like the same thing. Things like that, like the even the supervisor, I don't think he knew, because I do sell a lot of fragile items. Most of my packages have the fragile sticker on it, and to me, whenever I get to that postal clerk, it does seem like he can't really throw the item, right? Because of course I'll call him out on it if he does throw the item. But compared to the rest of the other clerks that I deal with, it does seem that he just drops the packages, into the bin, rather than like some of it, because I have a lot of the fragile, handle with care, do not drop on a lot of my packages. Most of the postal clerks that work there, what they'll tend to do is um, they won't drop it up from up high, but they'll kind of like, put it at a lower distance and, kind of like softly or gently kind of like drop the packages, right? As opposed to this postal worker, which kind of like, it almost seems like he wants to kind of like throw my packages, but he really can't. There's cameras and stuff like that, and it is his uh, job or work. He can always get fired, etc. Because I did like get the supervisor involved and stuff like that, and there's probably some hard feelings still, probably um, on his end. For me, like, I don't really care. I don't hold too much of a grudge. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or this video helped you out. And if you did find it helpful, go ahead and click on the like and subscribe button. And I will have a part 2 to this video where I do schedule an appointment with the post office to pick up the packages. So that's going to be part 2, and again, I will show you the differences between when you schedule the packages, because I have a feeling that it's going to be the same like this when you do the bulk scan, that it's not really going to be considered accepted until they get it to their postal facility, and then they do another scan over there. So I will do another video on that and show you the difference between what you saw today and when an item is actually scheduled and they pick it up. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.